Welcome to Reality with GP. Before the show starts, a few ground rules need to be said. Number 1, if you're a prominent YouTuber and you admire GP's editing style, add to GP directly about how he does his editing. Number 2, prominent YouTubers must do a reaction video to GP's latest upload to learn his editing techniques for free. Number 3, people who are emotionally sensitive to cold, hard truth, you don't belong here, so get the fuck on somewhere right now. Number 4, any non-black women or black women under the age of 40 who find GP romantically or sexually attractive, refrain from advances, or else you will get blocked. Number 5, if you are an attractive 40 to 55-year-old black woman and you would date and or marry a 24-year-old man, inbox GP on Instagram. It's GP, your show starts in less than 30 seconds. You ready?
You damn right I'm ready. And make sure I look good for the camera just in case one of these fine ass grannies decide to tune into the show. Alright, let's get it.
Yo, what's good with y'all? It's your boy GP. I'm back and I got a few videos I'm gonna report on for y'all today. I'm let the first video play and I'm come back and get my perspective on it as usual. Now let's roll that video.
A lot of times, men will leave a woman that has 80 to 90% of what we want, only to go be with somebody that has 10 to 20%. You see that? We'll get mad at the woman. She got 80 to 90% of what we want. We get mad. Here come the 10 to 20.
The statements within that video was 100% accurate. What was described within that video was not a behavior that just applies to men. There's also a female variation of it. The female variation of this lies within the percentage of women who choose to pass over good men who would ensure their life was completely free of stress, instead choosing to take care of broken, dusty guys who look to her for everything like a little kid relying on his mother. Now, a wise man who I haven't spoken to in a while, who's been married to his wife for nearly half a century now, once told me that trying to have everlasting marriage, you shouldn't look for someone who you like everything about. Because more often than not, you may think you found that only when you meet that person's representative. But getting to know that person who you initially thought you liked everything about over time and getting to see who they really are, you'll come to find out that you can't stand 80 to 90% of things about that person, while being barely able to tolerate less than 10% of who they really are. Now on to location in the next video. On to the second video.
I have seen many a fabulous women drugged into the depths of deprivation and despair by the wrong brother. You are better than that. You are more than that. And if any time you get a notion, I miss him, don't you feed that need you have for this trifling individual over there. He is not worth your time.
The statements from that judge had a high level of precision, honestly. Now, I'll base my take here on a hypothesis based on what I seen from that video. Now, I'm guessing from what I saw that she stayed in the situation because of intimacy. But being brought to mental and emotional detriment from choosing the wrong person in dating is not a behavior that's only exclusive to women. Now, the male variation of my hypothesis, from what I've seen within the context of that video, would be the fact that a large percentage of guys decide to put a ring on the first woman they lay up with, and oftentimes lose everything, including their mind, as a result of it. Now, on to location in the next video. On to the final video.
Why do the most caring people often feel the most alone? It seems paradoxical, but those who give the most, who pour their hearts into helping others, are often the ones left feeling isolated. They invest so much in easing the pain of others, hoping that someone will notice their silent struggles. Yet, more often than not, no one does. These individuals hide their own pain, not wanting to burden anyone, even though they're always the first to shoulder the burdens of others. As Carl Jung observed, loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. The deeply caring are often misunderstood. Their inner world goes unnoticed, as they mask their own suffering behind smiles and selflessness. Ironically, their compassion can become a quiet prison, where they continue giving without ever receiving the care they themselves need. This cycle can make them feel invisible, leaving them to wonder why the very love they offer doesn't return to them.
That video was highly accurate in describing the life experiences of many men and women in complete detail. Let me give an example and expound on what I mean by that. Now take the dating market, for example. There's a large percentage of compassionate, empathetic, kind-hearted, level-headed, wife-material women on the market that either are not looking for a man or are having a hard time finding a man. And amongst the percentage who aren't looking for a man, their preference for being single stems from past trauma of pouring their love and care into the wrong man. And honestly, it's only the biggest enemy of progression holding them back from dating again and potentially getting married, which would be fear. Now, amongst the percentage that claim they can't find a man, their problem in dating is that they just look for men in all the wrong places. Now, some people have assumed that I'm a simp and that I worship the ground women walk on because of my tendency to ensure that any woman I'm dating feels like queen whenever she's in my presence. But it's simple as this. As long as I'm single, I always prioritize self-love, self-loyalty, self-respect, and self-value. And by default, at any time period when my status is taken, the same love, loyalty, respect, and value I pour into myself while single will be equally poured into my woman at any point when my status is taken. Now, women in my generation didn't appreciate it, which is why I only like 40 through 55-year-old black women. Now, the unfortunate reality within the older generation of black women is that the most wise and insightful women always had the hardest time finding actual love. Now, among us human beings, there is only human nature. The only difference between men and women is how we display human nature. And the divide between men and women is systemically and purposely done. The people behind it cleverly designed an illusion that to this day continues to thrive in keeping service-minded individuals at each other's throats. The illusion I'm referring to would be politics. Now, anyone who can see beyond the surface level lens would realize that politics is only a far more covert and effective version of the divide and conquer tactic. Only now gender has been added into the equation of that. Now, y'all comment y'all thoughts below. Also, hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons if you enjoyed the content. Now, that's it for this week, but y'all stay tuned for the lineup I got coming for y'all next week.
If you enjoyed the show, be sure to follow the instructions right below me, unless you're illiterate. In the case that you're illiterate, go learn to read before tuning back into the show. This show is for fully literate adults only. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till next time.